Yo, so the co-main event. This is a doozy, right? This really is. We have got Kevin Holland against Mike Malott. Woo! Right? Proper Mike Malott. Right? He's 33, 6'1", 73-inch reach. He's got an overall record of 12-2-1, coming in on a 2-fight win streak. Right? So, as mentioned, right, he is a training partner of Jasmine Jazz Chavikas. He also, was part of Team Alpha Male. I think he's still affiliated with them, but he's training more at the moment in Canada. He's 5-1 in the UFC. It came via the Contender Series, right? So he won his contract in October 2021, and since then, he's just been putting in work. Right, stopped Mickey Gall in his debut. Johan Lionesses next with an arm triangle. Adam Fugit, right, got him. He then hit Neil Magny, and we all know what Neil Magny can do, right? I think Malott was one of the first that got magnied, But he bounced back. He got a decision over Trevin Giles. Was a little cautious in that fight, but, understandable. And then he stopped Charles Radke in the second round. That was May this year. Right, so, he's still kind of young in his career, Malott, right? Now, he was a coach at Team Alpha Male, concentrated a lot of time with the coaching side of things, right? That was a big thing for him. But, right, he's very much focused on MMA, and he's been, putting in a lot of work, right? Putting in a lot of work, doing his thing. So, I think the question is with Malott, can he be the next big thing for Canada, right? Now, they've got a few people, right? There's Jasmine, there's Eamon, right? There are, I think some high quality athletes coming out of Canada, but before the Magny loss, I think Malott was definitely one of those that everyone's talking about. And it's, can he get back to that, right? Now, as I said, the Giles fight was a little tentative. He did open up more with the Radke one. But I think the real test, the real bit of litmus paper is this fight, right? Going up against Kevin Holland. Whew. Right, so Holland, aka Big Mouth, aka Trailblazer, he's actually a year younger, right? Which, we've seen so much of Holland that you kind of would assume he's the older fighter, but he's a year younger. He's 32, got a 2-inch height advantage at 6'3", right? And he's got a whopping 8-inch reach advantage. So he's got an 81 reach. You know what I mean? Whew, huge, right? He has a 28-14 with 1 no contest record. Right? In the UFC, he's 15-11 with 1 no contest. And he came via the Contender Series, Didn't actually get a contract, But he took a short notice fight, right? He was talking a lot. And so Dana was like, all right, if you think, take this short notice. And he did. You know what I mean? He did. Which, started the legend of Kevin Holland, which is crazy. It is so fucking crazy. Right, so last time out, he did lose to Daniel Rodriguez. It was a crazy one, right? It was a weird one. But, he had good wins this year against Gunnar Nelson and then Vicente Luque. And that was coming off of a loss in January to Reina Darida, right? Who's in the main event. So it's kind of, this year has gone a bit full circle for Holland in a way. But yeah, look, we know what Holland can do. He is long. So he can wrap up things like a Das or an Anaconda really well. Also, he's a black belt under Travis Luter, which is no joke. Right? He's got those skills, but he can knock you out as well. Right? When you consider what he did to Joaquin Buckley. So I think a lot of the time with Holland, there has been that thing of going up and down in weight, right? Wanting to fight at middleweight because he liked to eat and all of this. But listening to a recent interview he did on Unfiltered, right? He's talking about how his diet has changed because he's only eating like meat he's hunted. So it's not getting pumped with all chemicals and bullshit. And he's just like, making the weight cut is so much easier now. He's got more energy. It's just changed his game. And I think that is the big one, because when Holland is motivated, right, when he's on his grind, when we see these incredible performances. And being at welterweight definitely helps that, right? Because you can't be fucking around, right? You gotta make that weight cut. But it sounds like he has really brought everything together in the rest of his life, which, people, that just makes a very dangerous Kevin Holland, because he has the skills. Boy, he's got the skills. And he's, when you look at his frame, he's got the tools as well. He's got a great teep kick, right? Whew. And, he can land those knees in the clinch, right? That's how he beat Fluffy. And a few other people, right? Jiu-jitsu, and that knockout power. He has got those skills. So it's all about getting the mind right. It sounds like that is. I'm taking Kevin Holland for the win, people, right? I'm taking Kevin Holland for the win. So, yeah, let's go, Trailblazer. And that's a great fight to lead us to our headline